Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is my dog Leo. This is my homeboy. He's helping me pack for Chattajack. Yay! Go to Chattajack tomorrow.
Chattajack is a 32-mile endurance paddling race. There's crafts of all different kinds there. There's OCs, prone, there's surf ski, there's stand-up paddleboarding, marathon canoes, there's kayaks. I did the event virtually, actually, in 2021. Ever since I competed in that race, I knew I was like, okay, I gotta get down one day. Every single year ever since, the ICF World Championships have always been held around Chattajack. For me, my priority always is the World Championships. But this year I knew that I wasn't gonna go to Abu Dhabi. So it was like the perfect window of opportunity to be able to compete in Chattajack this year. So registration every year, it opens May 1st at midnight. I was in Spain though at the time, still competing. So it was like 6 a.m. for me, and I was on a ferry, and I remember I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to register, but my friend Dan Miller had data, so he was totally able to sign me up. We trained really hard all summer. I mean, you guys know, you've been following the vlog, you've seen my races all summer, but really at the end of August, so after I won the Ontario Sup Series, even though I still had Hilton Head, I was very focused on Chattajack. The end of August was the start of like my first long paddle training session. So I did like 3.5 hours out on Lake Erie. After that, every single Saturday was basically like a long paddle. It was a long training session on top of the normal work I do throughout the week. I felt really good. I got to test out my hydration and my nutrition leading up to Chattajack. So by the time I got there, I felt super, super dialed in. My mom came with me for this race. It took us 16 hours to drive down. We had a couple little complications on the way down.
Yoo-hoo! Almost in Tennessee.
And we just had like the cutest little Airbnb ever. Like we stayed in like the cutest little spot. So thank you, Dustin, for your awesome Airbnb. It was really cool.
We are gonna go to Milk and Honey this morning for breakfast. We just got up not too long ago. And then we're gonna walk around downtown, I think, for a little bit, eh? Woohoo! Woohoo!
We've heard so many good things about this place. I've heard about it for years. I've always wanted to go. I had a friend last year get me hot sauce from there. So I knew, I was like, I have to go to this place. I have to take my mom there. And we just had the loveliest breakfast. It was really sweet, like such a great way to start off our time in Chattanooga. And then we went back to the Airbnb, grabbed my board, drove back to the event site. I kind of knew it was gonna be a long afternoon, but my mom and I like timed it perfectly.
Okay guys, we just got to Ross's Landing and we're just gonna take the board off the car and go for a pre-race warm-up paddle. Yee.
I got my board off the car, I got my fin set up, put up on it. I was talking to a lot of other like athletes and participants and friends that I just hadn't seen in a really long time, or I was meeting for the first time. There's a lot of like lovely people that came up to me and just said, "Hey Maddi, like nice to see you." And so that was just really sweet, like meeting all these awesome people that I've never met before. And then so shortly after that, I was able to get to the water, got my warm-up paddle in. On the warm-up paddle, it was really cool. I ran into Alex Sawaki, I ran into Tony Glong, and they had a couple other paddling friends as well. And Alex and I have been talking for a while, but we got to meet like in person for the first time down there, so like that was really cool. Yeah, after that, got off the water, got my board set up at the storage area. So left my board there, walked up the stairs, and that's when I saw a bunch of my Team Canada friends in line. So I jumped in with them and got to catch up with them, got to chat with them, pick up my race bib for registration. And then there was another line set for like all the swag. So we got to pick up our little swag bags and, oh, I've got actually the bag right here. It's so cute. Like, look, so the theme this year, guys, was like a Where's Waldo theme. Like, so cool. So this was like the bag that we got. But then I also got like a t-shirt that looks the same as this. And yeah, just like really cute. Picked up all of our gear, saw some more friends, said hi to some more friends. But then I was kind of actually like a bit socially drained by that point. And I knew I just wanted like a quiet night to settle in and to focus on the race ahead tomorrow.
Okay guys, pre-race Chattajack meal. Just some spaghetti and chicken. Woohoo, yum. And some sourdough bread.
Yes, and the sourdough bread.
And the sourdough.
So my mom and I went back to the Airbnb and then went to bed, and it was time to rock and roll.
Good morning, world. It's 6:30 a.m. We're gonna head to Chattajack in like 30 minutes-ish. It's race day! It's race day! My toast is over there. I'm eating some toast. I'm having some protein coffee. We may or may not have set off the fire alarm this morning to start. But it's okay. How else do you want to wake up on Chattajack morning, right?
You want to be awake.
You want to be awake. And what better noise in the world? Anyway, wish us luck, guys. It's race day. Woo! Okay, we're here at the event site. My mom is paying for parking. I'm in my dry robe because it's cold. It's not like super cold, but I really want to stay warm before this event. So that's what we're doing right now. Staying warm, staying dry, and starting to feel the hype. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
Like, I was just staying as warm as I possibly could have because I just did not want to feel the least bit cold before starting. So I literally took off all my layers that I had. I put on all my hydration packs. I wore 2. I put on my PFD, had my hat, got my music ready. I also eat 2 dates just as like a quick carb top up now before I race. So I had 2 of those, and then I hit the water. Now, the craziest thing about this race is that they're very particular with time. Like, you have to be on time. This race will not wait for you at all. And the craziest thing, though, about this race is that it was the first time I had ever competed in a race where they started 8 minutes early. It was about 8 o'clock, like it was 8 a.m. when I realized, okay, I need to get on the water. Like, the race doesn't start till 8:30, but like everybody's making their way. It's a busy dock. Like, you know, I want a good spot on the starting line, so I have to go now. So I made my way over to Walnut Street Bridge because that was like the first bridge where you're supposed to line up. And then we drift down to Market Street Bridge. It's like the second bridge that's there. And we got to Walnut Street Bridge. I remember looking at my watch being like, okay, it's 8:15. I still have 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I just hear the gun go off. It was like, bam. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, like everybody's going. So I take a couple strokes just to get going. Then I press start on my watch and the race began. The race had started. I learned at the end of the race that when I started my watch, it said 8:22. So 8 minutes early. Never heard of that. It's never happened to me ever in my whole entire racing career. I've had races start late. I've been on the start line for like an hour before a race starts, but I have never seen a race start early. So it was just kind of crazy. So I started the race like a little frazzled, but that frazzledness kind of soon turned into control because I could see my field around me and I knew that the one girl that was going to be my competition, she wasn't far away from me. And so I was like, okay, I got this. I'm in control. I'm fine. I ended up paddling like pretty strong. Like my first 3 kilometers, the splits were really good. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, this is awesome. This is like what I've been training for. This is the paces that I knew I was going to set while the race started. And so I think it was about like 40 minutes into the race. I was paddling by myself for the first 40 minutes. So after 40 minutes, I remember turning around and looking behind me, and my only competition was Whitney, my friend Whitney. And I looked back and she was about like 2 or 3 board lengths behind me. Like, she wasn't close, but she wasn't far. And I remember making a decision in that moment, like thinking about the decision that I needed to make. Well, do I just continue to take off and do this race by myself? Or do I slow down and do I work together with her and take her with me? And it was actually like a really hard decision to make in that moment. But I wanted to listen to like the advice of others that I've heard that have participated in this race. I wanted to listen to the advice of my coach. And everybody had said to me before that doing this race alone sucks. So it's better if you can bring somebody along to work together, because it makes it go by faster, and then like you can kind of work smarter and not harder. So that's what I did. I slowed down. Whitney caught up to me. I probably paddled in front of her for like 10 minutes after that. So now we're like 50 minutes into the race. And then we just took turns for the rest of the time. We took turns, 10-minute leads, essentially. So every 10 minutes we were kind of keeping an eye on our watches and just being like, okay, like let's switch. And on those switches, either like I would grab some food, or like I noticed Whitney would grab like a gel. So we were kind of like taking nutrition breaks as well. I think we both kind of just went like in and out of our own worlds. Like there were so many moments where the sun was shining, the weather was gorgeous, leaves were changing colors. So fall was just so beautiful down there. And you know, you can see people on the sides of the shoreline and they're all cheering. They're all like, woohoo, yay, go guys. Like they're all cheering on the racers, and that gives you a little extra pep in your step. And, you know, it just like, it was so much fun. But then this crazy boat wake just came from what felt like out of nowhere. Whitney was leading at that point. I was right behind her, and this boat just kind of comes and makes this like giant C-shaped swerve, and the wake was just so steep. So when the wake came, it like knocked Whitney over to her knees, and then it knocked me to my knees. But because I was right behind Whit and she stopped paddling, I bumped Whit, and I was like, oh my God, Whit, I'm so sorry. And then like she fell in, and I fell like to my knees. I never went in. I looked at her and I just immediately said to her, I'm like, oh my God, Whit, like, I hope you're okay. And she's like, yeah, I'm all right. And she gets back on her board, and then she's like, fuck, but my phone. Because she had gone completely in, and then her music stopped working. And I was so mad. Like, I just was like, wow, like that totally did not need to happen in the middle of the race. But anyway, we shook it off. We kept paddling hard after that. And around the 45 kilometer mark, I was leading at that point in the race, and Whitney was right behind me. And I was just so concentrated on what I was doing that all of a sudden I like looked down, and there was just this massive pile of weeds. Whitney, because she was right behind me, I don't know if she just went around me to like avoid hitting me or what happened, but like she went around me, and I was like, oh, sorry, Whit, do you see any weeds on my fin? And she's like, no, I don't. And I looked back and I couldn't see any either, but that was when Whit started to sprint away from me. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, this is not happening. This is not happening. Like, I just felt like, you know, we had worked together the whole race, and I had vocalized to her earlier that maybe with 1 kilometer left, we could then agree to make it anybody's game. So I sprinted as hard as I could to stay with her, because I knew, I was like, well, my race is going to be over if I can't catch her. But I looked down at my speed coach, and as I'm trying to sprint to catch her, I'm realizing how slow my pace was. It was like showing 8 minutes a kilometer on my screen. So I basically stopped, and then I moved my feet side to side. I kind of tried to like shake the board to get whatever weeds were off. I kept paddling. I saw that my pace was still slow, so that didn't work. I ended up completely stopping again, and then just kind of like back paddling so that whatever was stuck on it could just fall off. That eventually worked, and by that point, unfortunately, like Whitney she was too far gone. That for me was truly like a really heartbreaking moment for me, that this race that I had worked so hard for and I've sacrificed so many things for was just all gone in an instant. And so I was really upset at that point during the race. Like, I was really upset, and I just kind of had to tell myself to let it go, because I knew that if I couldn't let it go in that moment, I wasn't going to be able to finish the race still strong. At the end, I got around Hales Bar Marina, the big giant wall, and then I pulled into the marina, and the first person I saw actually was Tim Oliver. And it was the first time ever I had finished a race and just cried. I cried so hard. I was so upset with myself, and I just said to him, like, exactly what happened, exactly what I just told you guys. And Tim looked at me and he said, hey, you know, that's racing. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. You know, I'm a big believer in that things always happen for a reason, and especially when we race like this and at this high level, you know, and the losses like feel so deep and like cut so deep, there's always like a lesson to be learned in all of it. And I've learned throughout the entirety of my racing career, and now in this race more than ever, that I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. Like, I need to be a little more like cutthroat. I need to be a little more like aggressive in owning my race and knowing that that was my race. And, you know, things didn't go the way I had planned, but I just need to think a little bit differently with my strategy and not be so surprised when certain things happen, you know. It was really cool. At the awards ceremony, I had so many people come up to me and say, like, congratulations on second place. And that helped ground me a bit again. It helped me remember that my result was still a good result, regardless that it wasn't the win. But it was still something to be proud of and to walk away happy with. So I just cannot thank my friends and my family and the support of my own paddling community for just being so encouraging and for making me feel better, definitely after Chattajack. And maybe Chattajack's gonna see me again sometime soon, because I don't like losing. You guys know that by now, you know? And now I just feel like I have like this unfinished business with Chattajack, so.
Okay, guys, so I raced 52 kilometers, and Mom also raced 52 kilometers.
You know what it's like to Sherpa? You know what a Sherpa does?
They don't know. The people don't know.
They just don't know.
It's such a hard job.
They don't know.
They don't know. They'll never know.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tagging along and joining my stand-up paddleboarding journey. Please let me know, what else do you want me to talk about? What else do you want to see? Because I'm so stoked and happy and excited to share anything and everything with you guys. So leave a comment, let me know. Make sure to subscribe also if you like this video and this content. And I cannot wait to see you guys on the next one. Bye.